open weeks are always, they come at good times usually. We needed some rest and recovery, and obviously to get out and see some people and recruit is my weeks. We got practice today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, and then recruiting Thursday, Friday, and speaking at a couple of in-state clubs today at lunch and tonight here in Mobile. So it's good to be out.
What do you like to do with this team in the off week, this particular?
Well, we got to get some guys healthy, so we'll be. But we had a good workout today. I had to leave it early to come here, but tomorrow we'll have a good session of corrections and things we need to improve on. Wednesday we'll have a real practice before we break for fall break. We'll get a jump start on Missouri Wednesday, so we'll have an extra day for that, so that'll be good.
Did you see improvement in the Georgia game even though you didn't win?
Believe it or not, yes. I think anybody that's watching us, it's obviously take away the 13 turnovers in 3 games, which was just devastating, but I think we're getting better and better each week. I think the game was a lot closer than maybe the score indicated. Particularly, we could have scored some touchdowns in the tight red zone. But we played 49 kids in that game. 25 are freshmen or redshirt freshmen, and I mean that's a lot of young kids we're playing, and I think they're getting better each week and more comfortable against some of the elite teams in the country. So I did see improvement, but obviously we don't play winning football in all phases consistently from week to week, and that's where we as coaches have got to do a better job for our young kids.
Coach, what's the biggest difference for you in year 1 and year 2, this time last year and then this year that's coming now?
Well, it's frustrating that the record is what it is, but I know we're better. Now, we're playing a lot of young kids for sure, but they're going to be the future of turning this program around. And so the biggest difference is just, the expectations last year weren't very high. And this year, I'm excited that because of the way we're recruiting and stuff, the expectations are higher, which they should be. And our people deserve to have a program that is giving them wins when we have chances to, and that's the frustrating thing is that I know we're better and I know we're on the right track, but the record doesn't show it. So that's the two. Both can be true, but hard to accept also by your people that support you.
Speaking of recruiting, the Mobile Baldwin County area last year was very good to you. I know that that's fertile soil for you and where you want to make your mark in recruiting along this area.
Well, we want to win recruiting in Alabama. We want to start at home and do very well here in state, and then venture out from there. But we want to start here, and obviously this area on the coast is always got good players, so it's always a priority for us.
The freshman receivers came in with a lot of expectations. What have you seen out of that group?
They're freshmen, really talented, and are starting to catch on and understand how this game has to be played against some of the elite athletes in the secondary at some of the other places. And but I'm really excited about their future. I think all 4 of them, Bryce, Cam, Perry, and Malcolm, I think all 4 have huge ceilings and chances to be really special.
Coach, what's your quarterback situation moving forward?
Peyton has played really well the last 2 games. I mean, he's laid it on the line, and obviously the interception in the Oklahoma game that really turned that was disappointing, and he takes a lot of heat for that, and I blame myself as much as him on that one. Wish I'd have just ran it and punted. We were playing really good defense, but thought we had a good play call, but they give them credit. That linebacker, he really tripped into it. I don't know if you've seen it, but he was falling all over himself and just fell right into it. And but Peyton's played really well outside of that. Took care of the ball the other day. Made some really good runs and throws when he needed to, and so right now it's his.
Diego Pavia's made some headlines, and you played him last year, playing him again in about 3 weeks. What makes him so tough to stop?
I've seen him now, at Liberty and last year. The guy is just one of those freakish competitors, it seems. Man, just watching him, I don't know him personally, but tough winner, all those attributes seem to describe him pretty well, and seems to rise to the occasion when he needs to.
It was an interesting weekend in the SEC, to say the least. Can you talk about just the competitiveness of being in the SEC?
It is a tough league. I don't care who you're playing right now. It's going to be tough. You better strap it on, and it's just everybody's got good coaching. Everybody has good players, and some rosters are obviously deeper than others because they've been there longer. And I think that, like Vanderbilt, a testament, and I think the world of Clark Lee and the type of man and coach he is, but they're giving him time to build it and to get his guys in there and a culture in there, and you see that culture playing out on the field. They should have easily could have beat Missouri the week before. I haven't seen, I saw the score, but I heard they missed a field goal that would have won it. And but it's just there's no easy Saturday in this league, and you add Texas and Oklahoma to it, and made it even more difficult.
What's an Eli Drinkwitz team look like on the field?
I've been on the road all day, so I hadn't seen a lot, but I know Eli very, very well. He's one of my best friends in the business, and he's got one of my former guys as his coordinator now, and so that they'll be well coached, and he's done a heck of a job at Missouri. That's not the easiest job, and now they're one of the top 10 teams in the country. So it'll be a tough task. I'm sure I hadn't studied a lot of them. I'll start in the morning, but I know Eli, and he'll have a very, very solid football team.
First true road test of the year for yourself, going in between the hedges. Talk about the first 5 at home and how you felt you guys reacted on the road.
I thought we handled the atmosphere pretty decent. We only had 2 penalties, so I thought that was pretty good for our young kids to handle the atmosphere like that. Communication was pretty dang good most of the day. There were a few times it got pretty loud that made it a little difficult for us to the quarterback to the O-line, but you expect that in this league. But I thought they handled it pretty well. I don't think that was a factor in the deciding of who won the game. Georgia was just, they were better than us on Saturday.
I've seen some players around the country opting out after the 4 games. When the 4-game redshirt rule came into it, were you in favor of that? And is this maybe kind of an unintended consequence of that?
I don't think they think through much anymore. I personally think, and have beat the drum, that just give them 5 years to play 5 if they want to stay 5. And we haven't expanded our 85-man roster, and we keep adding games. And you lose folks to injury and lose folks to opt-outs, and it makes it even that much harder, where why in the world would we just say they can play up to 5 years and not worry about a 4-game red shirt or whatever that times have changed, and I think we're still behind a little bit in a few of those that just hadn't been, nobody's really thinking about those things. But you start having folks deciding when and where they're going to play, and it gets really challenging to have a healthy roster.
The looks like the House versus NCAA thing got settled today. NIL has changed things to a degree. This maybe changes it even more. Just how tough is it to be, managing a roster these days, like you mentioned?
I don't follow any news. I was telling Jerry on the way over here, I couldn't tell you if there was a hurricane coming, and I don't mean that flippantly toward the people that I don't know. But if that's true that it was settled, what our hope is as coaches is that it will bring some equity and structure to it. The trouble right now that we all have is there is no structure, and it's just kind of all over the place. And it would be sure nice if it followed after somewhat like the NFL model, where here it is, and here's what you have, and here's what you have, and you all have the same thing, and it's revenue sharing is what I think the settlement's going to take it to, and we operate like that, where you turn it into the league office, and you know what facts are, and you know how to deal with it. I think all of us are for the athletes getting something. We've been very blessed. And they should be blessed too. We just wish it had structure and guardrails around it, where everybody kind of operated in the same space.
Coach, what do you do to decompress after a win or a loss, especially this season? What do you do to take your mind away from football at all?
It doesn't happen. I wish it did, but your mind doesn't. It just can't get away from it during this time of year. It's hard, and even in the off season. And unfortunately, we've chosen a profession where I think most coaches would agree with me, where the losses stay with you a lot longer than the wins. You don't get to, and that's sad. We don't get to celebrate those wins as much as we hurt and are frustrated during the losses. But for me, I have to stay grounded in, all right, who am I? And think about my blessings and the gratitude I should have for my wonderful family, my friends, the faith that I have. That kind of keeps me grounded in my identity, because it's easy, and I hope our players see that modeled, because it is so easy for everyone to get their identity from what social media says about you, or one week they love you, one week they hate you. It's and I think that's a very dangerous slope that everyone has to deal with today, not just athletes and coaches, but man, I worry about my daughters and grandkids, getting their identity from the wrong places. And so for me, there is no getting your mind off of it. You obviously try to, spend as much quality time you can. For me, it's our daughters and my wife and 2 grandbabies now, but even that's difficult during this time of season.
Hey, Coach, what do you tell your team about celebrations? Scoring a touchdown, making a good play, so they don't have a penalty that jeopardizes your chances to win.
We hadn't had one of those in a while, but now that you say it, I'm always on our guys. Celebrate as much as you want with your teammates on our sideline, and try not to bring too much attention to yourself as an individual on the field. They've given us a little latitude with that, so there's a little bit of that goes on. I just don't like it to go too long, and I really like for you to involve your teammates with it, and that's kind of what I've always preached to them. And man, if you feel like you got to dance some more, come to the sideline and I'll dance with you. But let's come on to the sideline and act like we've done that before together.